Hi, I'm Rich Harris and welcome to my Asian Bite series for Video Jug. In this episode, we're going to be kicking off with a classic Malaysian dish. It's chicken satay, but none of those lurid bright sauces and horrible food colourings. This is the real deal. First thing to do is make the marinade. I've got some shallots, straight in, some garlic, ground cumin, and ground coriander. So I've got some red chillies here. I'm just going to take the stalks off, keep the seeds in because we want a nice bit of heat going through there, roughly chop them, chuck them in as well. And next up is this, an incredible ingredient, it's galangal. People think it's similar to ginger, the flavour's completely different. It's perfumed, it's light, and it's incredibly tropical and fragrant. Trim off the outer skin. Be quite careful when you do this because it is quite a tough root. Trim off any stem, and then just roughly chop it and add it to the food processor. So for a full list of ingredients for this recipe, check out the description box. So next up is some lemongrass. Just pull off the tough outer leaves, trim the ends off, just get rid of any of these woody bits here, and then just roughly chop. Don't have to be too neat with the chopping because it's all going to get blitzed up to a paste anyway. And the next flavour to go in is turmeric. It smells really fragrant, quite a strong, pungent flavour. Now, a lot of people say that you need to peel this, but I think if you just give it a good scrub, the skin is actually so thin on this, it doesn't matter, and particularly when you're using it for a marinade. Also, it stains everything it gets into contact with, so the less faffing around, the better. So straight in. And next up is kecap manis. It's a slightly thicker soy sauce, it's also sweetened as well. And because it's got that good level of sugar in there, when you go to grill the chicken, that's going to caramelise and go deep and sticky and charred and just taste phenomenal. So good glug of that in there. And then we're going to get the motor going and then just keep gradually adding oil until it comes together to form a nice paste. So just gradually add oil and bring this together. That does seem like quite a lot of oil to add to the marinade, but that's going to coat the chicken really beautifully, and also means you don't need to oil the chicken at all when you cook it. That's what we're looking for. Nice loose marinade, everything's blitzed up, everything's blended together, and that needs to go straight over the chicken. I'm using chicken thigh just chopped into bite-sized pieces. It's got far more flavour than chicken breast, it's far more traditional, and it's going to work so much better on the barbecue or on the grill because it can withstand much higher heat without drying out. It's going to add a lot more flavour to your satay. Just pour this marinade over the top. And just give it a good stir around. Make sure your chicken's completely coated in the marinade, cover it in cling film and put it in the fridge. This needs at least a day to marinate, so try and make it well in advance. If you can, give it 2 days and it'll taste even better for it. So in the fridge. So for the sauce, as with loads of Southeast Asian cooking, it's based around a spice paste. I've got some finely chopped lemongrass and galangal. They go in there. And then some shallots and garlic. To that, I'm going to add some chillies. These have been soaked in warm water for about 2 hours and just soak them just so that they'll break down more easily in the food processor. So they go in. Just to loosen the paste, some vegetable oil. So a good couple of tablespoons full of that. Pop the lid on and blitz. So there we go, that's good and smooth. Just get rid of the blade. And that goes straight into a dry wok. The reason I'm using a dry wok is there's already oil in the paste, so we don't need to add any more. The minute that hits the pan, you get this incredible waft. Chili, lemongrass, galangal, that really hits the back of your throat, but it smells incredible. What you're looking to do here is a thing called cracking. So keep frying out the spice paste until all those raw ingredients are cooked. Because at the moment there's raw chilies, raw garlic, raw eyes, and we want to cook those out. And the way that you know they're cooked is that the oil will start to separate from the paste. Right, next up is what everybody associates with satay, it's peanuts. These are just roasted peanuts, no salt, and they've just been pounded up in a pestle and mortar to a nice sort of rough powder. Chuck all of those in, give it a quick stir, and the whole thing's going to dry out quite a bit now. So to add some moisture, I've got some of this. This is tamarind water. So what I've done is taken tamarind paste, which is a kind of seed pod, really quite sour, but also has a sort of deep caramelly flavour and just works brilliantly with this sauce. I've just soaked it in hot water. I'm just going to spoon off the liquid so we don't get any of those seeds in there. And this is actually going to add quite a nice sourness to the sauce as well. So it'll go really well with the sweetness of the chillies, garlic and shallots. So next, a little bit of palm sugar. This is going to add a kind of toffee caramel flavour and balance out the sourness of the tamarind. So a good couple of spoonfuls of that. So just keep stirring that around. You want to make sure that that palm sugar melts and distributes evenly through the sauce. And then the last thing, for a bit of seasoning, rather than using salt, you can use kecap mayonnaise. So good drizzle of that. So just leave that to cook for about 3 or 4 minutes, just until the sauce starts to thicken up. And that's the kind of colour you're looking for, this deep caramel colour, not that horrible, pasty, lurid, bright yellow sauce you often get in bad Chinese takeaways. This is the real deal. Sauce is thickened, it's looking gooey, smells incredible. So that just needs to set aside to cool. In the meantime, we can heat the griddle pan up. So you want this griddle pan set over a really high heat, as high as possible, because we want it smoking before we put the chicken on. And actually this dish works brilliantly over charcoal, so it's perfect for barbecue season. I've got some bamboo skewers here and they've just been soaking in water for a good few hours, and that's going to stop them setting fire and catching light on the grill. So take your skewer and then just thread the chicken pieces on. It's a bit of a mucky job, but it's well worth it. And if you enjoy recipes like this and want to see more, then click the subscribe button, follow us on Twitter, or come find us on Facebook. Right, so the griddle pan's smoking, don't need to add any oil because all the oil's in the marinade already. I'm just going to add these and get them nice and charred. That's what you're looking for, that nice sizzle. Griddle these for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, just until they're cooked through and got deep char lines on them. And set them aside to rest. You don't want to shake the pan, you don't want to try and move them or lift them too early, because everything will stick to the pan and burn. Basically, when the chicken's cooked and ready to turn, it should just lift on its own. So you shouldn't need to sort of scrape it off. So just pry it away and turn over. And that's what you're looking for. These lovely deep char lines are going to give a really great smoky flavour. So to check they're done, just give them a little prod. They should be slightly firm with a bit of bounce to them still, so you know that they're cooked through. Right, so these guys are done. Let's grab a plate. And just keep griddling till all the rest of the chicken's cooked. Got our sauce, and the final thing, just a couple of wedges of lime, just to go on the side, to be squeezed over later. And there we have it, my traditional Malaysian chicken satay with peanut dipping sauce. This stuff is the real deal. It's smoky, it's sweet, fiery kick from the chilli. Everything satay should be. And if you enjoy this recipe, I look forward to seeing you back in the kitchen again soon for another episode in my Asian Bites series.